Hey there everyone, we have a new legendary banner, or I guess mythic banner technically, coming out, and so I wanted to kind of break down everybody that's going to be in said banner, and then maybe give you a better idea as to whether or not you should pull on said banner. So over on the left side of the screen we're going to have all 3 candidates from each of the 4 stone colors that you can pull on, 12 heroes in all, and kind of break down their skills, their weapon, just the general stuff that you might want to fodder, or useful skills that might be handy. Not necessarily looking so much at stats, because we do always cover stats when stuff gets data mined and released, so that stuff's already pretty much out there. If you're curious, they're all good units, honestly. Nothing's really worth passing up, as it were, if you don't have it or something like that. But let's get into the red pool first and foremost. We got legendary Ike. He's got Ragnall, Warding Breath, Seal Attack, Defense 2, and Defense Tactic 3, which isn't bad. The thing about legendary Ike is we got him for free, right? So his rarity, as it were, not really that big of an issue. You've already got one guaranteed. Warding Breath is a really nice skill to have. So the fodder potential there is really nice. Defense Tactic, that's more than likely going to be a seal at some point if it's not already. I don't remember necessarily. But either way, it's bound to pop up at some point as a seal if it, like I said, if it hasn't been already dubbed one. But Warding Breath is really the primary thing there. A lot of units would like to have Warding Breath, or you could just merge up Ikes. We've got that the new update coming sometime in February, probably early February is when I would bet money on it. So if you've got a different Ike, like for example I have a plus attack minus speed Ike, if I merge one, yeah, I don't have to worry about the speed bane anymore. It's just kind of neutralized at that point. So always something to think about. But again, we've had Ike before. He was our first real legendary hero that we got on a banner. And so there's not really a big call for Ike here. Now we do also have legendary Erica coming back finally. She's got Storm Segland, attack speed solo 3, Lunar Brace, and odd defense wave. Now Lunar Brace can't be inherited, that should be noted. But attack speed solo is really nice, as is odd defense wave. But again, those waves, we're getting them as seals, so the wave skills, I wouldn't necessarily fodder a legendary unit off for that. The solo skills are really nice, like I said, so that's definitely something to consider. I know of a certain individual, shout out to Amazes, who is very excited to have legendary Erica come back, and I hope that he gets her. But we've got a strong set of sword cavalry units. Legendary Erica is very good. She's actually on my Tempest Trials team right now, so she's definitely worth getting, I think. The stats that she has, the skills, the base kit that she comes with, she's definitely worth trying to pick up if you don't have her already. However, given the fact that the other unit that we've covered so far is already a free unit, not necessarily a high priority pull color for her, which is kind of the only thing holding her back on this banner, honestly. She's a great unit. I would say of the 3, she's definitely the one worth pulling for the most. But you never know what you're going to get with a legendary banner, because it's a 1 in 3 shot to get the featured unit that you're looking for. Speaking of leg yarn, Niu is her weapon. She's got R dual flying, chill attack 3, and distant guard as well. And one thing I noticed when I was putting these slides together, we've actually got like all of the chills, I think. Maybe not all, but a vast majority of the chill skills are represented. And we got bodied. We got bodied right there. But that's okay. We got backup team coming in hot here. So for what it's worth, our dual flying is pretty handy for stuff like Arena. Chill attack is very, very nice, but it is available on some other units as well. And distant guard, it's good, but overall, I don't think I'd fodder leg yarn off for that. I don't really think she's worth foddering off anything. Maybe the R dual flying, just because you know, it might be nice to have that on a unit that you're taking into arena. I don't know. Chill attack is a thing that's probably the thing that I would fodder a Legion off for most is chill attack 3. But overall, she's a pretty strong unit, and I don't know if the balance between fodder and keeping her really balance out that well. I'd say she's probably a keep. I don't necessarily know that I would fodder, but like I said, she's not the strongest unit on the banner. I would say ranking probably Erica, Lake Yarn, Ike, and that's just because of availability. Ike is a free unit, Lake Yarn is in the standard pool, and Erica only pops up on Mythic and Legendary banners, so she is guaranteed to come back once in a while, every now and then. But, you know, the other two are pretty much more available. So if you're going to pull for red, Erica's probably your best bet. Or, like I said, if there's a unit that you don't have that you want, just go for that one. We're going to move on to the blue pool now. And you'll note that the ones with the black background actually are seasonal variants that are kind of more rare. I know that the legendary mythic units, they only show up on these banners as well, but they tend to make their rounds a bit more frequent than some of the seasonal units, which is why I have denoted them as having a black background. Anyway, blue pool, we've got legendary Tiki leading the pack here with Divine Mist, Fierce Breath, Bold Fighter, and with everyone is not inheritable, by the way, just to set that groundwork early. But Bold Fighter is always really nice to have. Fierce Breath is bonkers. Overall, don't fodder Legendary Tiki, use Legendary Tiki. She has an incredibly high VST. She's one of the 4 now. We've got the Myrrh alt, we have the Tiki alt, and the Fate alt, and now, of course, Duma, who we're going to talk about at the end here, has come in and completed the quartet of dragons in armor with insane BSTs. We don't have the BST on Duma yet, but just for the he's going to be insane. Legendary Tiki, definitely the winner of this color pool, hands down. I know we're talking about her first. Sorry, spoilers, but she definitely wins the blue color if you're pulling on blue. But we've also got Ryoma down here from Hoshiden Summer or Hoshiden Festival, however you want to, however you would like to split it. Sky Myogi, and he's also got Triangle Adept, Chill Defense, and Spur Defense Res, which is kind of nice. Chill Defense, definitely probably the primary skill that you're going to want to fodder off if you get him, if you want to fodder. If not, this is, I think, the first time he's coming back around. The Hoshiden alts are coming back around this time around. Half of them. The other half will probably be on next banner, more than likely. But overall, you know, Ryoma's a dance unit. For the most part, color on dance squads don't really make a huge difference because they are 99% of the time just support based, and that's kind of what they're there to do. That doesn't mean he's not a good unit, but overall his usefulness is kind of more focused towards overall support of your team. So therefore he's not a huge priority for pull, in my opinion. Especially given that we have so many other banners coming up. The Valentine's banner, which after getting Duma, I am damn near convinced that it's going to be Valentia. So, for what that's worth. We've also got Cliff. Speaking of Valentia, we've also got Cliff, Sagate, and Fortress Defense Res 3. We'll talk about that in a second. Chill Speed 3, there's another chill skill. And Fortifier Res. So, while I love Cliff, he's my boy, Fortress Defense Res 3 is a premium skill. Alright? It is a premium skill. It's something that you definitely want. It only inflicts attack -2, but it buffs your defense and res by 6, which is insane. So, very nice to have. Especially if you're running a support unit, for example, something would very much probably appreciate Fortress Defense Res 3. So if you're gonna pull in terms of priority on this color specifically, I would say you're looking at Legendary Tiki, Cliff, and Ryoma. And that's just because Tiki is an insane unit. If you don't have one yet, I highly recommend you try and get her. I think it's one of the first times she's been back on these Legendary banners as well. So, for what that's worth, definitely try and get her if you can. Cliff is great for that defense res, like I said. Always really nice to have that. And he's also a pretty decent unit as well. And then Ryoma, you know, the singer-dancer pool is pretty decent overall. Nothing really stands out about Ryoma specifically. So, you know, like I said, his weapon skill is nice, but his primary role is more than likely going to be supportive. So unless you have a specific build in mind, in which case you want to pull for Ryoma anyway, he's probably worth the skip for right now. And moving on to the green pool, everybody's favorite legendary Lyn. Swift Molgir, Laws of Sakai, Desperation 3, and Speed Tactic 3. This is kind of an interesting one. Legendary Lyn's a lot of fun to use, and she's actually a really decent unit. She's probably got probably second on this color pool for me, just because she's been around. I think this is her third banner that she's been on now. She's been around before, so the availability is kind of there. But overall, I would say Speed Tactic is a really good investment. Laws of Sakai you can't inherit, but Speed Tactic is pretty neat if you can pick it up. Desperation 3, don't fodder for Desperation 3. We've got other units that have Desperation. But overall, Lyn herself is a pretty fun unit to use. I would probably use the unit over fodder. Speaking of using the unit, we have Brave Ephraim. One of the Brave units making his appearance here. We've had some already. I think Silica's the only one who hasn't been on yet, so she'll probably be on next month. He's packing Garm, Close Defense 3, Special Fighter, as well as Armor March. So very useful skills that he's got here. The Close Defense, we have that as a seal, so don't necessarily look at that. But Special Fighter is really nice. I would overall recommend using Brave Ephraim if you got him. He's a great armored green unit, especially if you don't have access to any of the Hectors, minus the Brave one. Or something like Winter Lissa or Amelia, maybe. I don't know if Amelia has aged all that well. Fallen Robin, something like that. He's very good. Special Fighter 3 is probably the primo skill that you want to use for fodder. But Armor March is also a little limited in availability as well. So keep that in mind. But overall, Ephraim, really strong unit. If you've got some extras and having to pull him, he's got great fodder potential if you're not interested in merges. So green is a pretty strong pool, actually, just between these two alone. But then again, we have the Hoshiden Summer Festival Elincia. She has Cloud Myogi, Attack Speed Push 3, Rock Slide Dance 2, and Drive Res 2. So again, kind of in the same realm of Ryoma. Good. Dance Singer unit. Mostly support based. Attack Speed Push is definitely the skill that you want to use for fodder if that's of interest to you. Overall, not a huge priority. Again, the Singer Dancer pool is okay. She's not really making a huge impact. Her weapon is really neat. It's effective against Dragon Phones, just like Splashy Bucket, if that's more your jam. But either way, she probably is not a super high priority for most people just because a lot of the people have Singer Dancer units already. We've got Young Azura, who is another green Singer Dancer unit who is free to play and arguably one of the better free to play units that we have in the game right now. So probably not a huge priority. I'd probably rank the green pool Ephraim, Lyn, and then Elincia. Even though I'm a huge fan of Elincia, it's just not, like I said, not a huge priority. And that's kind of the theme of this banner, honestly. And then finally we have the colorless pool. Colorless pool is packing the dragon of the hour, if you will, Duma. and he comes with Fell Breath, which is just crazy. There's so many different skills packed into that weapon. He's also got Defense Res Solo, Bold Fighter, and Upheaval, which this unit in particular is kind of a monster. Right off the bat, turn 1, he deals 7 damage to every enemy on the field, which means skills that require 100% health no longer work. I think for the most part, it's gonna keep people out of Brazen range, so he's not necessarily helping anybody with skills like that. Probably not in the Vantage range either, but maybe. So for what that's worth, there's really no downside to Duma. He's definitely the winner of the colorless pool and the banner overall, not just because he's new, but because a lot of the units that have been paired in this banner are a little bit lackluster in terms of skills and things like that. So, in fact, once we get chill skills in seal form, if that ever comes to pass, this entire banner is just kind of flushed, to be honest. So, looking at it like that, he's definitely the winner. His skills are insane. I'm assuming his BST is going to be ridiculous too. I would not be surprised if it is not the highest BST in the game when the data mine comes out later tonight. So yeah, you definitely want to pick up Duma. He's going to be good in Ether Raids as well, because anything in his immediate direction also gets bopped. So he gets to destroy structures as well. So something you want to consider. Colorless, really good pool to pull on just for Duma alone. But we also got Loki, who has Thoque and C dual infantry and odd attack wave. So again, we've got one of those dual skills that kind of come in handy if you're looking at the arena. Loki overall is like a pretty good healer, to be honest. She's pretty darn strong. She's got crazy attack for a staff unit, and she comes arena ready with a dual skill. So, for what that's worth, she's also got attack wave, which the wave skills are probably my new favorite skill. They're so handy, and the way that you can kind of combine them with other units that you have on the field, or in the team rather, you can just kind of keep your team buffed every single turn, or if you balance the odd and even wave skills. So Loki, if you don't have her yet, if you haven't been able to pick her up since the Brave Redo banner, definitely worth checking her out. And then we've also got one of my favorite units, actually, the Summer Lind alt from Sketchy Summer earlier this year, or earlier last year, I should say. She's got Starfish, which has Desperation built into the weapon. She also comes with Brazen Attack Res and Cancel Affinity, which Brazen Attack Res is interesting. I'm pretty sure we got that seal now. I think that was recently released. And but Starfish is definitely a dagger weapon that you might want to pass down inherence wise, just because it comes with that desperation built in, which is really, really nice. And who knows, with Duma out, it might offset desperation. Probably not, but either way, it might, and it's something worth thinking about. And Summerland is a great unit overall. She's one of my faves. But yeah, colorless pool, definitely Duma, 100% Duma. I don't go on too long about him, just because I feel like I've between the reaction video and then all this, I feel like we've covered groundwork with him. So if it's not surprising, Duma, Lind, Loki. And I only put Lind above Loki because she is one of those rarer units who is seasonal and a little bit harder to find. Loki is in the normal pool, so you can always pick her up or try to pick her up off of random pulls if that is a thing. But Lind, however, is beyond limited. She is strictly on banners now, and that one time of year when summer pops back around. Man, that's crazy. Are we really going to have 6 summer banners this year? The 2 before it and the 2 new ones? Or the 4 before it and the 2 new ones? That'd be insane. Anyway, Duma definitely takes my win here for overall on on banner win. Overall, I'm going to give this banner 3 Jeff Goldblums out of 5 because it's an okay banner. It has some good units, but overall, it's just not there. There's nothing really that is enticing unless you are missing some of these units. There's not really any premium skills except maybe things like Special Fighter on Brave Ephraim and things like that. So if you're missing any of the units that you want, now is the time to try and pull them, especially those seasonal variants. Because if you don't happen to get them in the right pool, the penalty isn't really all that bad because the pool of units that you're getting are all pretty decent overall. So Pity Breakers are a little less restricted this time around. But there's really nothing too great. Honestly, the only reason I didn't give it 2 out of 5 was because we had Duma. Duma kind of brings this up an entire Goldblum's worth of rating. So Duma's definitely worth it alone. Try and pull on colorless if you can. The Valentine's banner will be coming out like 10 days-ish? Just under 2 weeks, I want to say. So if that's of interest to you, maybe save your orbs. But other than that, that's my review of this banner. I hope that helped you guys decide whether or not you were going to pull on this or not. In the comments, let me know what you're looking forward to on this banner. Do you think Doom is busted? He is. And I guess we'll be back again either late tonight or early tomorrow with the stat review of Duma once the data mine goes live. But that's it for me right now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.